And so for the eBay to go back and then show our competitor at a cheaper price, it's bullcrap, and I'm done playing that game. He inadvertently sends me a picture of himself, and check this guy out. This has been a crazy week on eBay, and I want to talk a little bit about it. I had 2 issues. First issue is a buyer wanting to cancel and sending a cancel request after he purchases the item, and my refusal to do that. So basically what that is the buyer is showed our competitor's item after they buy at checkout, after they purchase, and then asking me to do it. Well, I'm not playing that game anymore. That's issue number 1. Second issue is this numbskull down here opened up a case and said the item that I sent him, which is brand new by the way, is broken and defective, and then switch it out my good item, brand new item, for his bad garbage, and sending that back to me and think that I'm going to tolerate it. Okay, and this numbskull down here inadvertently sent his picture to me as the attachment, where you can put attachments on the case. Okay, I sell electronics and I sell a lot of hard drives, so I sent him a good hard drive. A week later, he says blah blah blah, it's broken, it's defective, whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. My spidey senses thought that this is kind of strange, and I always leave my personal cell phone number in packages. That's just been my thing, because I don't want them to open up a case. He didn't try to call me or text me. He just basically opened up a case to do a return. Okay, so of course we know you have to pay for the return, not only to ship it to him, but to get the item back. So I paid, and it automatically printed him out a label. A week later, I get this garbage. This is a new item that I sent buyers, okay? This is the garbage that he sent me, and you can hear the rattling. Okay, you can hear the rattling. So he sent his garbage on purpose and kept my new item and put it in his computer. I immediately no, buddy, you're not going to get away with this. So as you know, as a seller, you can look and see what the buyer's contact information is. It has their phone number, it has their address, of course. So I call the guy up, and immediately he hangs up. And I know it wasn't just going straight to voicemail. He picked it up and he hung it up. Okay, why? Because he knew what my phone number was, because I put my phone number in the package. I thought, well, that's strange. I lit his phone up. I just kept calling. I called like 10 times in a row, and he would let it ring some, and then he would hang up. And because I know you should never get emotional when it comes to online sales or just in general, but I was just so livid that the guy sent me something broken. Okay, I finally texted him. I said, "You ship me back a 40 gig hard drive, not the 80 gig brand new hard drive that I sent you. I will open up a fraud claim with USPS and a police report in your jurisdiction. I've done it before successfully," which, by the way, I've never opened up a police report. This is a $20 item. I'm not going to go to the police over this or spend my precious time going to USPS or whatever. If it were a $1,000 item, that may be different. He writes me back. He texts me back. He says, "Who are you looking for? This is not Edward's number anymore. I'm sorry. Call Spectrum to get a hold of it." So I'm thinking, okay, how do you know what this guy's number is? Maybe you're the guy with this number who sent me a crappy hard drive back. I says, okay, if you see him or talk to him, let him know that I'm opening up a police report. I'm basically trying to call his bluff. And the reason I do that is because a lot of people will call your bluff on that, but a lot of people will take you serious, and they're like, maybe this crazy guy, this crazy eBay seller might just actually contact the police and get me in trouble. And that a lot of times will solve the problem right there, because they won't call your bluff, and then they'll actually close the case or try to give you your money back. So what's funny with this return, you know you have the option to put an attachment to show if you got a broken item or what. So you can put an attachment on your case. So he inadvertently sends me a picture of himself, and check this guy out. So here we have this knucklehead who accidentally sent me his picture. He's holding up his cell phone. I don't know if he's doing Match.com or or some kind of whatever, and he accidentally sent me this picture. I guess this might be his profile picture for the women. I'm not sure. And you can see his room. Look, I mean, look at this. Look at what a junk pile he's got. Here's his bed, his unkept bed, and here's a shipping box. So this might be a box of something else he stole on eBay. And, of course, I tried to message this guy on eBay. He never responded, of course. And then as I calmed down a little bit, I responded to the case. And you have the option of choosing buyer sent back the wrong item. And so that's what I did. I submitted to eBay the request that, hey, this guy sent me back the wrong item. I took a picture of this broken hard drive that he sent me and put that in. It was my attachment. And I was just holding my breath, saying, hey, is eBay going to make this right or whatever? eBay waits about a few hours, and then they respond back, sorry, we cannot honor your request, blah, 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 right? But you have the choice to appeal. So I did appeal, and I recommend you to always appeal. And I attached the picture again. I was like, look, I've been with you guys for 15 plus years. I've never had this happen to me before. This guy is a new buyer, and he obviously sent me the wrong item. And he sent me a broken item intentionally. So literally within a few minutes, they request my appeal, and then they give me a full refund. I guess they're basically hoping that you don't appeal it or whatever, but I appealed it. Now, this worked for me because maybe it was a $20 item. I can't guarantee you that it will work for you. If you send a $100 item or a $500 item, I've heard on eBay where eBay will give you a courtesy refund, and they'll just take your word for it, or they'll just give you a courtesy refund off of their backs. I've heard that, but I've also heard that they require you to open up a police report, and they still won't work with you. So it could go either two ways. I think maybe because my item was cheap and it was only $20, they went ahead and just refunded me. But fight it. Fight it. You know, if it's a $100 item or a $500 item, you know, make sure you fight it. Make sure you report it. Don't worry about a negative feedback. I mean, that's the least of your problems. If they're stealing money from you, fight it tooth and nail. So make sure you report the buyer. And when they open up a case, there's a little thing that you can click on there to report the buyer. Make sure you report them for fraud. And it does matter. If they get enough of these, and if they play this game with too many sellers, eBay will strike them, and eBay will remove their account. I've seen it happen. So what did I do next? I left the buyer a feedback. Now, as you know, as a buyer, you're not allowed to leave negative feedback. However, as you can see here, I did leave feedback, and of course it had to be positive. But I said, warning, buyer will switch out your good item with their bad item. This is the second item that the buyer has bought from me, and I will throw their old and broken item back. Report buyer and call eBay. And yes, I did look back at my records, and this idiot had done this to me before. Now, I did not realize that he sent me back a bad item before, but he had. So he opened up two cases. However, he has not sent this second item back to me. He might be getting cold feet. I'm not sure, but it's been a week now, and he has not sent the second drive back to me. Why do I say leave a feedback even if it's positive? Well, you want to do this to inform and to notify other sellers, because other sellers who suspect that the buyer is committing fraud will look back at their feedback, and they'll see what other people's leaving. And if he tries this with another seller, they're going to read this, and they're going to be like, wait a second, I'm not going to let him do that to me too. So they're going to fight tooth and nail to fight the buyer who's trying to cheat them as well. Now, if you accidentally left a positive feedback with positive remarks, and then you realize that later that they scammed you, you're allowed to leave a follow-up feedback. So make sure you put a follow-up feedback and write out a long thing. Now let's talk about me getting sick and tired of cancellations after the buyer has paid and bought it. So I get a few of these every week, and I have stopped granting the request to cancel orders after the buyer has paid. It's a binding contract, and I'm done with doing this. If you buy a brand new vehicle, you filled out all the paperwork, you're about to go off the parking lot, does Nissan or Honda or Toyota have a big giant billboard saying, look here, you could have got the item cheaper here. get here. So go ahead and pull your vehicle back and we'll go and do all the paperwork and we'll refund you the car so you can buy this car now cheaper. That's what eBay's doing. And so what eBay's doing is they're showing our competitor their prices after they bought from us. It's idiotic. They've been doing this now for years. And we pay for promoted listings. We pay to have our item on their platform. And so for the eBay to go back and then show our competitor at a cheaper price, it's bullcrap, and I'm done playing that game. So I immediately refused the request and then shipped the item out that shows tracking. So as you can see here, I canceled the request, and now it's informing the buyer the cancellation couldn't be done. So what's this guy do? He writes me back. Hello, you rejected my cancellation request with the order only being placed like 15 minutes. If you do not cancel, I will open up a claim with eBay. I will refuse delivery and return to selling. Also, negative feedback will be left. Please reconsider canceling an order that was wrongfully ordered. Thank you. Okay, first of all, feedback extortion. You're not allowed to threaten negative feedback to a seller for any reason. Immediately, this is feedback extortion. So you know what? I'm like, okay, good. You're not allowed to leave me negative feedback for any reason. Now, they're still not allowed to leave me negative feedback because if they get it and say, hey, I didn't mean to order it, this seller sent me the item anyway, you're not allowed to leave negative feedback for that either because it's a binding contract. So you can call up eBay and say, hey, no, he's not allowed to leave me negative feedback, and they are required to remove the negative feedback. Now, long story short, I had my composure on this one, and I didn't write back the buyer and say, hey, you said you would leave me negative feedback. A contract is a contract. No, I didn't do that. I'm like, look, the item just went out as you were ordering. I'm sorry. If you want to put return to sender, you could put return to sender. If you get it, I might throw you a couple of bucks. This is another cheap item. This is like a $10 item. I could throw you a couple of bucks if you want to keep it, if that makes you happy. But, you know, the item's already shipped out. So on this, you kind of got to gauge your judgment on this. It's a new buyer. But you know what? I'm done with this, and I've done this now at least 50 times where I refuse to cancel. Have some items come back? Yes. But it's only like maybe 10% have come back. You'll find that if you refuse the cancellation, that a lot of times the buyer will not send the item back or they will not open up a return. And I've lost a little bit of money trying to do this, but I've come out ahead. So you need to stick to your guns. As an eBay seller, you need to stick to your guns. We all need to stick to our guns, and we cannot let buyers, play games with us like this. A contract is a contract. So no, I am not refunding buyers anymore because of cancellations. If you bought, you bought. It's on you now to send it back.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here, and you need to subscribe to Robert Wilbur's YouTube channel. He'll inspire you like no other. He's persistent, loving, magnificent, and will keep you coming back for more. And smash that like button too while you're at it. OxyClean.